Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Empowering Lives Through an Online Business. And happy Friday to everyone who are on Friday, and happy Saturday for those who are already enjoying the weekend. So today we're bringing you the following topic.
Okay, so today for episode 45, we will be talking about simple systems that make online businesses easier.
Yes, so that's what we're going to be talking today. But before we dive into our topic, let us introduce ourselves. So, hi everyone, my name is Sandy. I'm originally from Panama, but currently residing in Surrey, British Columbia, Canada. I also work in the movie industry, and I'm a proud digital business owner and mentor.
Hello. Hi, everyone. My name is Yesenia, but everyone knows me as Jessie. I'm a nurse by profession. I live here in Ontario, Canada, but I'm original from Cuba. I also have my business online and I'm a mentor.
Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. My name is Isabel. I am originally from Mexico, now residing in the States with my family. I am a digital business owner and a mentor.
Thank you, everyone. So, let's find out what is our topic again for us.
Okay, so our topic for today is simple systems that make online businesses easier.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to be talking today. So, welcome back to another episode of the Empowering Lives Through an Online Business. And happy Saturday for those who are on Saturday. So, many people think building an online business has to be complicated. But the truth is, it becomes easier when you have a simple system in place. And today we're talking about how systems, not stress, are what create consistency, efficiency, and growth. And for that, we're going to be talking about the following points.
So today's points are point number one, system reduce overwhelm. Point number two, system create consistency. And point number three, system save time and increase efficiency.
Yes, so those are the points we're going to be talking today. So let's dive into our first point. So, systems reduce overwhelm. There was a time in my life when busy felt normal. In the film industry, every day was intense, fast paced, problem solving nonstop. And while I learned so much in those 25 years, I was constantly reacting. So when I stepped into the digital space, I knew one thing for sure. I didn't want to rebuild my life around chaos again. So I wanted something different. And at the beginning, everything feels new, new tools, new platforms, new language, new strategies. And without a structure, that can feel overwhelming. But here's what I learned: overwhelm is often not about capability, it's about lack of systems. So, according to McKinsey, automation and structured systems can reduce repetitive tasks by up to 30%. That means that nearly a third of what drain people daily can be simplified with process. So, when you don't have systems, you're constantly starting from zero. So you wake up asking, what should I post today? How do I respond to this? What steps come next? Am I doing this right? And every decision consumes mental energy, and mental fatigue leads to frustration. But when you build simple systems, you have repeatable content structures, you have a clear onboarding process, you have a scheduled focus blocks, you follow step by step training, and you use automation instead of manual repetition. So you stop reinventing the wheel. And in our community, this is one of the biggest blessings that we have. We don't guess our way through growth. We plug into structure, we follow framework, we leverage systems already built, and that changes everything. Systems don't eliminate effort, they eliminate the unnecessary stress. So they reduce decision fatigue, they protect your focus, and they create a clarity. And clarity reduces the overwhelm. And in life, that's the same. When you create system for your weekly planning, your learning time, your finances, and your health routines, you reduce those chaos. So confusion shrinks when a structure grows. So here is a message for you guys. If you feel overwhelmed, don't assume you're incapable. Ask yourself, do I lack discipline or do I lack systems? Because discipline without a structure leads to burnout. And a structure with discipline leads to sustainability. So you don't need to do more, you need to simplify what you're doing, and systems turn confusion into clarity, and clarity turns effort into momentum. And the momentum is what creates the progress without exhaustion. So that was my message for this point, and now let's move on to the next point.
Okay, so systems create consistency. For a long time, I thought consistency meant being motivated every day, feeling ready, feeling inspired, feeling like showing up. But the truth is, real life doesn't work that way. There were days I felt tired, that I felt overwhelmed, days where motivation wasn't anywhere to be found. And on those days, I used to stop because I didn't care. Not because I didn't care, but because I was relying on how I felt to decide what I did. Everything changed when I realized this: consistency doesn't come from motivation, it comes from systems. So instead of asking myself, do I feel like doing this today? I started creating simple structures that could follow no matter how I felt. You know, a time to work, a plan to follow, and a clear next step. So nothing complicated, just intentional. And that's when things began to shift. A lot of times we act like we have an eternity to work on our dreams, but the truth is, we only have the time that we are here to work on that. So we have to really be intentional with our decisions and the way that we do things. And, because systems remove the guesswork, they reduce overwhelm, and they help us show up on the days when it's hard. And I think all of us have those days, there's always going to be a day that is hard to show up. But if we have that plan, if we already have everything and we don't have to just, oh, today I'm not feeling well, I'm just not going to do it. If you already have a system in place, if you already have that, you're going to keep going regardless. And in fact, studies from the Harvard University or Harvard Review, Business Review shows that consistent process significantly improve performance over time. And you may be asking why? Well, because when you have a system, you don't start from zero every day. You already know what you do, you already have direction. For me, this was a game changer. As a mom with a lot of responsibilities, with real life happening every day, I couldn't rely on motivation alone, but I could rely on a simple system that kept me moving forward. And those small, consistent actions build momentum. They build confidence and it builds results. So if you've been struggling to stay consistent, maybe it's not about discipline. It's not a discipline problem. Maybe it's a system problem. Because when you create structure, you create a stability. And from that, consistency becomes possible. So that's what I had for you guys today. Thank you.
Thank you, Isabel. So Isabel just talked about system create consistency. Consistency creates that momentum and it creates that structure. So you don't rely only on emotions to be able to show up for what you need to show up for the business. All right, so let's move on to the next point.
So the next point is systems save time and increase efficiency. Okay, research from Zapier showed that that over 88% of the small business owners say automation help them compete with large companies. Simple system allow you to do more in less time. Instead of doing everything manually, you create a flow that works for you. This create more flexibility in your day. But how do we see this online? So when you have on the online business, on the online space, if you have a system, you save time. and increase efficiency. Without a system, you repeat the same task over and over again. How? Sending the same explanation, answering the same questions, sharing the same information, all of that manually. But when you have a system, they is built once, and the only thing that system does is repeatedly do all these tasks that you don't have to worry about it. That save time and energy. System also help you to work smarter. Working harder is not the goal. The goal is working smart, because system allow you to organize your process, guide people step by step, um, streamline communications, reduce that confusion. And when everything flows better, your business become easier to manage. You don't feel overwhelmed. Also the system create increase that efficiency, because efficiency means doing more with less effort, correct? So instead of spending hours, explaining things individually, the system on place provide that structure and clarity. People receive information faster, you respond faster, and everything moves like faster, more faster than the normal. And that's how you grow without burning out. So that's one of the things that I love about this business, because as a nurse, I was burned out at work. So I want to do something. If I was going to do something that make my life a little bit easier. So when you rely on manual effort, the results become inconsistent. Some days, as I was saying before, some day you show up, some day you don't. Some day you are overwhelmed, some day you're not, some day you're happy, some day you're angry. But when you have that system in place, that will move all of that from the equation, and still is going to work on your background. It's still going to work your 24 hours on the 7 days, and that create that consistency, and that consistency is what will be equal to growth. So this is especially important if you're a nurse as me. If you have a family, if you are limited on time, if you have 3 jobs and you want to cut off a little bit more because you're not present, and you start your online business, and you notice that you can do it because you have a system in place. Same to this business that we're talking about. You don't need to be online all the time. You don't need to do everything manually. We have the simplest system that allow you to build the business, around your schedule, and that's what it make it sustainable. So if you've been thinking, looking, and your life look complicated, you are time consuming, and you don't know what to do, I just want to tell you, it doesn't have to be hard. You just need the right system to become a simple, organized, and efficient. So you don't need more hours on a day. You just need to be a structure. I will leave you with that. I have a message here for you guys. Systems save time. System reduce stress, and system make grow easier. So that's what I have for you on this topic, and I hope so you have liked it.
Thank you, Jessie. We do have a comment here from Isabel. She says, you don't stay consistent by feeling motivated. You stay consistent by following systems that keep you moving forward." So there you go. So yeah, so Jessie just talk about system save time and increase efficiency. So so it's not about working harder like we used to in our jobs. It's about working smarter by using the system that allow us to do those repetitive tasks with the system, so it allows to have more time for us to do other things and to keep growing our business. And Jesse also added, simple systems save time and create a smoother growth. And she also say that let the system do the heavy lifting. So there you go. Okay, so let's find out what is our key takeaway for this topic.
Our key takeaway today is success is not about doing more, it's about doing things smarter. Simple systems make your journey easier, more organized, and more sustainable.
Yeah, so that's our key takeaway for today. And what is our message for the audience?
Um, Ask yourself today, what is one thing that you keep repeating manually? And start creating a simple system for it. Comment system and your commitment to simplify your process. Connect with us.
There you go. So that was the end of our live. So we hope so that you learned something today about why it's important to have simple systems that make the online business easier. And you can also apply those in your life. Finding systems that make you easier. So saying that, if you want to learn more about this online business opportunity, if you have questions, you can put in the comments more info, send us a private message, or you can register directly into our website with your name and email address, and we'll send you that invitation to our free webinar. We do have free webinar twice a week at 5 p.m. PST and 8 p.m. EST. So there you go. So how to find out more about this online business opportunity. So we want to say thank you to everyone that has watched the live with us today. For those catching the replay, thank you so much. And to our followers, thank you so much for believing in us, for being part of our community, and for engaging with our content. So we want to wish everyone a happy and blessed Friday for those who are on Friday, and a happy and blessed Saturday for those who are already enjoying the Saturday. So thank you again for being here with us today, and we'll see you again on the next episode of the Empowering Lives Through an Online Business. Thank you, everyone. God bless you all, and thank you for watching.
Thank
Bye.
you
Thank you
guys.
so
Have a good
much. Enjoy your
weekend.
weekend.